Hey, hey, what's up, world? It's me, your girl, Angela. And no, this is not the Beat You to You talk show today. I'm coming to you live with Doing Life with Angela's because I'm going to have a few special guests to do life with me for 7 days. God laid it on my heart to do 7 days of love. So before we get started, before we get into this program, do me a huge favor. Go ahead, like and share. Share to your page, invite your friends, and I'm doing the same. Invite your friends to come over and be a part of this talk, and they will not be disappointed. We need to work on loving ourselves, doing right by ourselves. So often we're so busy with loving each other, loving on other people's, and not ourselves. And so we're going to talk about that today. I do have a special guest, but did you like? Did you share? And if you have any things you want us to discuss about love, drop it in the comments and we're going to make sure we target that. And so again, we're doing 7 days of love at 7 days at 7 p.m. Love. So I'll be on for 7 days straight to talk about love. And again, we're going to talk about so many different types of love, and we're going to have different special guests to come on the show. So before we go on further, let me bring my guest, Dr. Glori Monroe, and let her introduce herself. Come on, that's Glory with the I, not the Y. Hello, Gloria.
Hi, hello. How you doing?
Say thank you for making yourself available, for saying yes, for being my first guest. So you're breaking the ice on love, and I think that you are fitted for this event. And the reason why I wanted you to be on today. Oh, let me back because I don't got all into it. So kind to introduce yourself to the people.
Thank you so much again for having me. For those who do not know me, my name is Dr. Glory, and I am tonight coming in the form of the authentic woman. Although there are so many other hats that I wear, I'm just super excited to be here tonight. I am also a spiritual life coach. I am a pastor, a author, international speaker, model, a lot of people don't know, as well as actress. So the authentic woman is here on tonight.
Okay, for the actress and the model, go ahead, boo.
Yeah,
When you make it big, remember me. I, the little one that used to take care of your hair when you was here, just remember me, okay? Remember me.
absolutely, absolutely.
I love the idea that you use the word authentic, right? Because that is one of my vocabulary that I use regular with my brand as far as be true to you. It's very important to be authentic. And a lot of people don't truly understand what it means to be authentic to yourself. They think it's about just showing up and dressing a certain way at all times, speaking a certain way at all the time, and not about the inner. And it's the into you that calls you to be authentic. And so, Dr. Gloria, I want to talk to you today about self love, right? Because I think self love is so important. And the reason being that I want to talk about self love first is because self love dictates all of your relationship, how you love others, how you allow others to love you, how you show up in relationships, how you show up in your friendship, how you show up as a mother, a daughter, a wife, right? It all of those things is predicated on how you see yourself. And so, my first thing I want to ask you, when you think about self love, what do it look like to you?
Oh man. So for me, self love looks like a few words like patience with myself, being patient with myself.
I'm sorry, can you hear me? Because at this time we can't hear you. Make sure your speaker is not on mute. Or did your phone ring? If your phone rung, if you but you're on your laptop,
Yeah.
so
Can you hear me okay now?
for some reason your sound has left us.
Hold on. Let's see. All right. Am I back now?
Hopefully her sound will come back, and while her sound is coming, working on getting her sound back, we're talking about self-love today. We're talking about it is important to know how to love yourself before you can love anyone else. Is We're talking about you can't truly love anybody if you don't love yourself. And I brought Dr. Glory on because she did a phenomenal event uh last week, last Saturday on the 28th, and I went, and I'm so glad I went because you might have thought it was going to be a vision board party where you was going to cut out magazine and post pictures and talk about your dreams and all the things you wanted to accomplish in life, but it was not one of those vision board party. It was about dealing with your inner self. It was about dealing with those things that people can't see, those things that makes you show up in a negative or a positive way in life. And so I wanted her to be a part of this because when I tell you the vision board party, it was called a 3D vision board party. When I left there in the middle of the night, when I would get up and talk to God, it was some things that I was pleased with about how I dealt with things, how I didn't sweep things under the rug, but it also let you know that you're not perfect. And when I say that you're not perfect, there are still some things that we allow to affect the way we show up, good, bad, or indifference. The thing is to be okay with who you are, to be the word authentic with yourself, not pretending to be okay when you're not, not pretending to be something or someone that you're not. And so Dr. Gloria did a phenomenal job. And so I want her to talk about what is self love. What does self love look like to her?
Hopefully you can hear me.
I can.
Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, so I do apologize for that. So for me, self-love looks like a few things. A lot of words come to me personally, like patience, being patient with myself. I think a lot of times as people, not just women, we want to rush to be better. We want to rush our process. We want to rush and get to the finish line. And I'm asking myself now, what are we rushing for? Because once you accomplish the thing, what's next?
Hmm.
I mean, if you rush to accomplish all of your assignments, what's next? Death. And I don't know about you, I'm not ready to die yet. And so I am training myself to just be patient with my process, be patient with the growth, with the changes that I see within myself that I need to make. And so that's the first thing I do. I own the fact that I got some issues. Who don't have issues? But at the same time, I come up with a plan to work those issues, and I just take my time working it. What I've learned, Angela, over years of just living, I'm 43 now, is we have a habit of seeing other people prosper and getting genuine motivation from them, and now trying to get on their same level and work at their pace and do things what they've done. And we don't realize they probably took 5, 7 years to get to where they are. You know? And so when I think about that now and think about the fact that I was also doing that, looking at people that I looked up to, which is not, it's not a bad thing, and trying to get there, I found myself rushing. The bottom was falling out. I wasn't happy with the end product. And I just made a decision, say, you know what? I'm just gonna take my time and do me. And however it come out, I know within myself I'm working on change and working on the change that I need. So that's what I do for myself.
And so I hear you saying that you have to be patient and with self-love. Self-love is about giving yourself grace. Self-love is learning to not judge yourself so hard. We have to evaluate who we are. And the Bible says judge or be judged. So we have to judge the way we show up. But in the midst of that, as we're patient with who we are, self-love will develop. And I like where you're saying that you found yourself looking up to people, which is, you're right, it's okay to look up to someone, it's okay to admire somebody, to honor someone, to respect someone, but it is not okay to honor someone to the point where you are causing detrimental to yourself, or being detrimental to yourself, causing yourself strain, causing yourself to feel like you're incapable or not enough. And so I found that we judge ourselves so hard. And in the midst of judging ourselves, we don't give ourselves time to stop and give ourselves a grace period. And I think self love is learning to give yourself a grace period. Self-love is judging yourself to the point where you know things that need to be changed, but not judging yourself to the point where you condemn yourself and can't move forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I thank you again for attending my event on last week, Saturday. But that event pretty much is what helped me find my self love. You know, as you saw, there were some people that were so unaware of themselves. So you can't even begin to love yourself or even other people. You don't even know how you deserve to be loved. Most of your understanding or definitions, what you see on TV or what you saw in the household, you can't do any of that because you truly don't even know what's going on with yourself. And so, taking time to really sit down, oh my God, I cannot say this enough. And I say
Okay,
it.
so let me just ask you a question. You're saying self-love is not getting my nails done?
No, I
You're
mean,
saying self-love is not me always going to say, I'm giving myself self-love today. I'm getting a pedicure.
I hate when women say that.
You
I
saying that self-love is not when, oh girl, I got it's my time today. I'm taking care of myself. I'm going to get my hair done. That's not the
it's
epitome of self-love.
not in my definition. That
Right.
is some form of relaxation, therapy, hobby, enjoying your life,
Say
right?
that again. I love that.
That's some type of hobby, relaxation. You're going to enjoy yourself for the day. You know, you go
Right.
shopping, some therapy in some way, but I don't really believe that is the definition of self-love.
Right.
I believe when you love yourself enough to say, you know what? Let me stop. I don't like. You love yourself enough to confront yourself. We
Right.
know we got stuff. This is my issue with women in general, not just the women in the church, not just celebrities. This is my issue. We don't stop long enough to take care of ourselves. We got this thing, check on your strong sister. I mean, check on your strong friend. No, check on yourself first. What do they tell us in the airport when you get on the plane? They say, secure your mask first, and
Hmm.
then you can help somebody else. But
I
we
think we have heard people say that all the time. Check on your strong friend, or I'm loving myself. It's nothing wrong, and don't get it twisted. We're not saying there's anything wrong with you getting your hair done, getting your nails done, getting your toes up, because that's taking pride in yourself, right? I
yep.
don't necessarily think it's just self love, but I think it is taking pride in yourself, which comes from self love, loving yourself. And Dr. Gloria, I love what you're saying, that we're thinking that we're showing up for everybody else, but we don't know how to show up for ourselves.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Not at all. And we can't. We have to show up for everyone else. It is our duty. It is our job. It is our calling. I have to say yes. I can't turn down this opportunity. I have to pour into people. I have to coach. I have to mentor. But when you get home, you drop dead,
Hmm.
drained, you're exhausted. Your household is jacked up. Husband don't want to be around you. The kids don't have no time for you because you have no energy for them or yourself. I mean, I love what you're doing. This 7 days of love, because self-love is, I mean, just love in general is super important. This is what the world needs now. Anyway.
I love that song. This is what the world needs now. That's all I know though, but this is what the world needs, like
Yeah, we
sweet love. You know you like to sing, Gloria.
you know, don't get me started. I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, we need more love, but it starts with self. It
Hmm.
starts with self.
I love that too. I have a question. I have a couple questions. One, my questions. Well, let me just go back to this part right here, where this is a word that I've come to hate coming behind another word. Two words. I hate the word strong, the word or the sentence strong black woman, right? I'm so sick and tired of us saying, I'm a strong black woman. Like that's a badge of honor, to the point. Why can't we be just a woman? And two, why can't we just be a black woman, right? Why we have to be strong? And I feel like this is one word that's stopping us for understanding what is self-love. We're so busy feeling obligated to give. We're so obligated to take care of everybody else, and then we're obligated to show up strong, that we're not allowed to show our vulnerability. We're not allowed to deal with our hurt. We don't have the time to deal with those things that's causing us to break on the inside, because we have to keep up the facade of showing up as a strong black woman.
My God, listen, I understand. I think we have wore it out, and you know, let's say we do understand where the terminology came. You know, it came from way back in history and the things that we endured and from our ancestors, so we get it. But we're not them, you know.
Yes.
And I think now we've taken it so far to where we've taken the strong black woman and we made her alpha female. And now women don't care about self-love, which is their femininity, their
Hmm.
softer side. I can't show you my softer side. I can't show you that I'm vulnerable. I can't show you that I'm hurting. I have to keep showing you that I'm a star.
Hmm.
Showing up being strong. I have to keep showing up being the brand, being the leader, being all that you want me to be because I do not want anyone to see my femininity. I don't
Well,
want
how
any
long can we do that?
only
How
but
long we do that before we crack,
right. Yeah.
before we mess with the next generation, or we destroy someone else because we're not taking care of ourselves?
Yeah, we're doing it right now. I mean, it's happening right now. That's why there's such a dysfunction right now in Christianity because we don't have self love and we're the leaders and we're just doing us to the best of our ability and we don't realize because we've been doing it for so long. We don't realize that we have truly left our divine identity. We have left who we really are and we have became who the world have told us we had to be. And so there's no need for self-love because I'm going to be who the world say I need to be. I need to be a boss. I need to be successful. I need to be an entrepreneur. I need to have a lot of people. I'm supposed to be an influencer. I got to, all this stuff. There's no time for self-love. It's only time to keep showing up being who the world wants you to be. And that is a huge problem. And that's what we have going on right now.
And so I believe that too. I believe that we really need to, as you say, slow down, right? Slow down. And I'm not gonna blame social media to the point because I myself, I love social media. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But at the same time, I don't use social media to dictate my life. I like to use it to share. I like to use it to inspire you. I like to use it to laugh, but at the same time, I try to be truthful when I show up because I don't want anyone to think that my life is perfect and I have it all together. But at the same time, I know that when your life is not perfect and you don't have all the designer things and all the big houses and all the fancy cars and designer handbags, people don't want to listen into you. And I think this is the reason why it, not for all of it may cause us to not live in that area of self love, that we begin to pretend to be something that we're not. We try to live up to something that we can't. Which in the midst of that, it weakens us. It weakens the love that we're supposed to have for ourselves. It weakens the trust that we should have in one another, because when you're lying, and so when you lying to other, you understand that now that you violated the trust in yourself, and now you don't even trust who you are. Now you don't even trust your word. Now you don't even trust how you show up, because you're showing up as a counterfeit, right?
Whoa. So wait. So you said so we know we be lying to people?
Oh yeah. Who knows the lie that's coming out of your mouth before you and God, that is? And so when you know you're lying, you know at that time you've caused a crack in your own foundation, right? You caused a crack in even the way you show up for yourself. And in the midst of you showing up cracked, broken, bruised for yourself, this is how you showing up for others.
Ooh. But what if she don't know that?
I don't think it's that she don't know. I think sometimes we don't know how to deal with it. I think we don't know, we don't have the right tools to change the situation around. We don't ask the right question. Like you said before, we don't sit with ourselves long enough to get to know what we're lacking. We're so busy running, right? We're so busy trying to be the it girl. We're so busy trying to be the it boy. We're so busy trying to be on every scene that we don't realize how tired we are until we sit still. And a lot of people are not willing to sit still and do the work. And
And that
that's what I love about your class.
Yeah, and that's it. People don't want to sit still. And God forbid if they have a little following going on already, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. They're not going to sit down and really just kind of learn who you are. Angela, if I could be honest with you, I should have been blown up by now with my character, my personality, my skills, my beauty. I could have been having thousands or millions, actually millions of followers by now. I've had several national television opportunities from years ago for the last 8 years, and that I turned down, and then some turned me down. And I'm not upset about it because if I look back on who I was, the last few years, I wouldn't want to be there now because now I have to maintain an image, or like you just said, maintain a lie that I told myself, and now I'm telling others that I am this and I am that. And guess what? That pressure to maintain a lie, it's harder to maintain a lie than speaking the truth because the lie you have to remember. I know somebody right now tells the same story over and over and over again. It's a whole lie about me. And she tells this lie about me over and over and over. It's one situation that happens, but she tells this story so many times that it has changed. Every time I've heard it, it's just changed and it done more what you call it, metamorphed.
Morph it into something bigger than what it was.
Like, and so I just thank God that the doors didn't open then for what I know God is doing now, because I would have had to maintain stuff that I knew I was going through. I knew that I was struggling just within myself. There was things about myself I did not know. I can tell you today wholeheartedly, because of the self-love that I've been applying to my life over the course of years, I genuinely love who I am today. And that's with my flaws and all. Because I'm very cognitive now. I know why I react a certain way. And even though I'm reacting and I know it's not good, I know exactly what's there. I know the root of the fruit that triggered my action. In other words, I know whoever did something to me, which was a fruit of a thing that made me act like a fool, I know it's not about them who is the fruit. This thing is connected way back to a root, to something that happened to me long time ago that have nothing to do with the person that's coming at me today. That also helped me keep genuine friendships, genuine love relationships, because I'm also looking past the fruit that's coming at me. Although I don't like what's coming at me, I understand this thing is tied to a root, and I wouldn't be able to identify the roots that are still there, that I am still working on every day, had not I stopped and let patience have her perfect work and do a work in me to get me to whom I am thus far. And again, I absolutely love her. And I have this movement that I'm doing this year called the Authentic Woman, because I didn't realize I wasn't being authentic. As transparent as I am, for those that follow me, and as free as I am, I didn't realize there were parts in my moments in my life and seasons in my life where I wasn't being authentic. And so what happened to me was I was holding back what I wanted to say. I wasn't telling people how I really felt about situations because I told myself, "Oh, they can't handle my truth, and I can take it. So let me just take the L, so they can feel like a winner." I mean, I held back how I was really feeling about situations and people, and I just went along to get along. Or religion had me to a certain degree too, because the Bible says don't do this and don't do that, and so I was caught in religion a little bit too. And I'm all for the Word of God, but at the same time, the Bible also tells you can speak your truth, but speak it with wisdom. So there was still a way I could have still communicated how I felt and not taking all that crap that I took from people and holding in how I really felt so somebody else can feel good and dumb me down to myself so somebody else can feel small. I did all of that. And I thought it was the right thing to do because I felt like I'm staying in good standing with people. I'm being a peacemaker. Like the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. So here I am thinking I am doing the right thing. And I was really getting further and further away from my authentic self. And I didn't even know it.
Yeah, and even that, you wasn't being nice to yourself. And
Mm-mm.
I like how you said that, the Bible said that, it says also, it say go to a person when they're troubling you, right? And so we think that we're being authentic because we're just not being confrontational. But in
Yep.
the midst of you not being confrontational, you're killing pieces of you off. You're allowing pieces of you to die. You're allowing your
Yep.
voice to be muffled.
Yep.
You're allowing more sand to be thrown on you. And I get it. You said that you know where it come from. You know what fruit it came from, and before it was a root or a fruit, it was a seed that was planted. And so
Absolutely.
once you understand the seed, either bitter seed or sweet
Yep.
bitter a seed, it can be an apple, it can be a pineapple, it can
Yep.
be a pepper, it can be a tomato, it can be an onion. It's still a seed, right? And
Mhm.
according to how that seed flourish, is what type of fruit show up. And then some fruits go deeper than others. I know one root that goes really, really deep is the root of rejection. And
Yeah.
rejection causes you not to understand that you're not walking in self love. I know that when you're wounded by a person, I understand what you say about a story that's been told about you. And every time that story is told, it's told different, it grows. And even to the point where that has a seed that's coming up with a
Absolutely.
fruit that we don't want, right? We talked about that at your class. We don't understand that trying to protect ourselves sometimes hinder the way we love ourselves.
Oh my God, that's good. Say that again. Say that again.
We don't understand how we protect ourselves, try to protect ourselves, also hinder how we love ourselves. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all keep going,
I
Dr.
love that.
Glory.
I love that. And I teach this sometimes in my classes. Sometimes life have happened, right? For those that's listening, life hits. It hits for all of us. There's no way we can avoid life hitting. The Bible talks about that. You're gonna have a season of good, season of bad. You're gonna have a season of reigning with him. You're gonna have a season of suffering with him. So we can't avoid it. It is inevitable for all of us, right? But we have to understand what self-love looks like when life hits. You don't just rush to fix the problem. Sometimes I tell people sit in the pain. Because let me tell you something, if you sit in the pain of something, you're gonna remember next time you coming around that thing again. You're gonna be able to see that thing coming a mile away because you remember how painful, how excruciating that thing was for you. And so I always tell people, and all my daughters, when they call me mom, I say, get it out. Don't rush to heal. Don't even rush to deal. I said, if you want to scream, holler, fuss, cuss, whatever you want to do it and do it as much as you want. Now, I'm going to be checking on you. I ain't going to let you be having no pity party. And we're now 2 months in. But it depends on the hit. You
Yes, it
come on.
depends on the hit, and it also depends on who threw the punch.
That too. Like, come on, because when it's in the house, the hit is so different. If it's in the street, you can take a little bit quicker to get over it. But when the hit comes from in the house, it hits different. And so, I teach women that you have to first sit in that pain. Don't rush because you're gonna be. I need you to calculate. How did you get yourself in that situation? Come on. How did that person get access to you to do what they did to you? Come on. And this helps you realize where you wasn't all that you thought you was. Because if he was all that you thought you was, they would have never got access to do what they did to you. Come on, you ever saw a guy and you looking at him, he trying to holler at you and he not even on your level, and you looking like, dude, this ain't on your level. He can't even get access. You can see him a mile away. But that's what happens with us with life. If you really were all that and you understood self-love, then how did people get access to do what they did to you? No, you need to take your time and sit in what happened to you. Explore, figure out where you was the villain and figure out when you played victim because you played a part in it. Now I'm not talking about stuff that happened in your childhood where you couldn't control the uncle sneaking in the room and things things like that, you were a victim to that. But at the same time, you have to now get up and move on. But what we do, Angela, is a situation happen and then we go telling ourselves a story about it. We tell ourselves a story. We say, this wasn't fair. I didn't deserve that. And that is correct. But then you start going to another place like, I'm never going to be loved again. And I deserve that. And so we start telling ourselves all these stories that are not true. And so what we're doing is we are thinking, we are protecting ourselves. I'm never gonna let somebody hurt me again. I'm gonna look for this type of person and look for that type of person and examine this person. And we don't know we're putting another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, another brick, and we're building this entire wall. And this wall is to protect us from never getting hurt in the way we got hit. And that's not a bad thing to a certain degree. Because at some point you have to let the wall down in order for other people to come in and test you to see if you are healed from the hit. Okay, and so you got to come out of the wall. You got to come from behind the wall at some point and test the thing to see. Oh my God, can I just stop right there for a moment? We want to go through somewhat called deliverance. So let me figure out how I want to say it. We want to go through so-called deliverance. Baby, you ain't really got delivered until you got tested with it again. Come on now. You got to get tested with that thing again. So your pastor can lay hands on you. You can get a whole revelation and you have made up in your mind that you are not going to do that again. Great. But wait till the test come again and that's going to let you know where you really are. And so we have to take time and sit. That's my word for the year. People don't know this. I'm going to share this with you, Angela, and I'm pass it back to you. I've cleared my plate this year. I had 3 coaching programs that I was going to do this year. I said, nope, I'm going to clear that. I had a couple other things that I was going to be launching this year, some workshops. I said, no. I had a conference. I said, no. I said, I'm entering into a new thing, and you know what that is. I'm entering into something new and something big, and I want to give this thing a good year of my time. I don't want to have a whole lot of other stuff going on and being booked and busy. I can't stand when women talk about I'm booked and busy. Who cares? Because
You
I
let them people be booking busy if they want to be booking busy, gal.
can't. But who cares? Because all that says to me is you just want to be seen and known and let everybody know you got something going on. That's what that says to me. I don't see Sarah Jakes putting a post up saying she's booked and busy. I don't see T.D. Jakes putting a post up, but people who put booked and busy want people to believe
I
they're
get it.
booked and busy. And they might be, and I'm not knocking it. If I get aggressive and apply the spirit of consistency, like, and you too, and get aggressive and start knocking on doors, girl, we can
We
be
will be booking busy too.
but we ain't doing all that. We're just like it got to come natural, organic, right? And so I made a decision this year to cut back a lot of things that I'm doing because I want to take time and really make sure this big thing that's on my plate that I can nourish that thing and that baby can grow up healthy before the mommy leave the house. I want to make sure that my baby is gonna be able to manage on its own. Hey, Tanisha.
I love that you taking care of yourself. And in the midst of you talking, I can hear one thing that calls us to show up the way we do, and that's not forgiving ourselves. Not forgiving ourselves for the things that had happened that's out of our control, right? We
That's
need to one forgive ourselves for those things. And that's what be true to you. We talk about we own up to the good, bad, and ugly. You changed it, you put on your big girl chain, put on your big girl panties and change the things you can. Those things you can't, you be well with it. But it's called truth, right? You got to be true to yourself. You got to be willing, like I said earlier, to examine yourself. And sometimes we don't forgive ourselves. Instead of forgiving ourselves, we tell the story over
mm,
and over, or we put the blame on someone else, because sometimes it's us, right? And sometimes it's that inner self, that inner enemy within us, that's the enemy, and the story that we're telling ourselves is causing us not to heal. And
mm.
so I like that you have to start telling yourself a different story, not telling yourself the same story. And in that, you said something earlier, and I want to go back to that. You said that you understand that you could have been bigger before, you could have had a million follow. You even said that you know that you're pretty, right? self love, you had to get to the point where you love yourself enough that you see your value. So often we don't see our value because we're so busy looking at a glass, somebody else's eyes, or a foggy glass, that we can't see clearly of
Yeah.
who God has created us to be. We can't see clearly what He invested in us. So to be able to say who you are and believe who you are and stand firm in that, I want to say I honor you for that. I acknowledge you for that, because some people feel like they can't say those things about themselves because they want to be considered to be humble. And sometimes they feel like when you say who you are, that you're boasting or you're being prideful. And then see, that's not self-love. Self-love is knowing who you are,
Come on.
being okay with who you are, and standing in your truth of who God has created you to be. It's okay to say you're beautiful. It's okay to say that you have what it takes. Times I feel like I have what it takes, that I should be on other platforms. I should have been on other platforms, whether it be from what people heard about me or whether it be what was not in me at the time. I still understand that God has the last say so. And whatever He want for me, whenever He wanted for me to, whenever He want to reveal it to me for me, it's gonna come. And I don't blame anyone. And so I love the idea that you see yourself for who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I didn't get here overnight. And it goes back to what your topic is tonight, self love. It took years of self love. I didn't get here overnight. I am a woman who can truly say, I can go out by myself and really enjoy myself. I can be home by myself and really enjoy myself. I just really understand who I am now. And when that little girl come out, which y'all need to make sure y'all follow me all week and all month, because I'm gonna tell that little girl must die. I got to deal with the little girl that's on the inside because she's leading and she's ruling a lot of us women, and we don't even know it. But at times when she do show up in my own life, this little girl, and what I mean by little girl is me. You know, a little girl, she wants what she wants. She's spoiled, and she just wants everything her way, and she thinks that she's the boss. You, if y'all got daughters or kids, y'all know they hit a point in their age where they think they the boss, right? And so, when you don't get the little girl or little boy what they want, they throw a tantrum, they start acting out, they start talking back, and so that little girl is really a little girl looking for attention. Most times when your children are acting out, they're looking for some form of attention in some way. And so I do have times where I act out. See, this is something that a lot of women that comes on your platform, they're not going to say this. Well, some. Well, you know what? You know a lot of women that's real. So let me take that back from your platform. But there are a lot of women that have platforms that they're not going to say they little girl come out. They're going to come up here and make you feel like I'm about to give y'all these 9 tips on how to be me. Really, that's what they do. Look at me, and here's 9 tips on how to be me. No, we're supposed to point everybody back to Christ, right?
Back
That's
to
our,
Christ.
that's
Turn
our
their hearts back to Christ.
that's our number one goal, right? So I'm not on it. So that's why it's so easy for me to say I have moments where the little girl show up because I know I'm still looking at Christ trying to perfect this life. And so I have moments where I want my way. I have moments where I'm even mad with God because He's not moving at the pace
Fast
I want.
enough.
Come on. Then I have moments in my different relationships, whether it's eros, whether it's storage, whether it's a platonic, love, friendship, family, where I react instead of responding, right? And so when I see that person, I'm so disappointed in myself, Angela. I'd be so disappointed because I worked hard to kill that little girl. I worked hard to have that little girl to sit down.
But we're not perfect. And I
Well,
like the idea that you say that you be disappointed, because sometimes we're disappointed in ourselves. Sometimes we don't show up 100, and then in that we have to learn to give ourselves grace. We have to learn to give ourselves, but at the same time we can't stay there just because we know, well, I didn't do my best, so it's okay. No, you got to go and correct your wrong. You got to go and try to show up in
get
your authentic self 100% of the time.
Yes, you have to look at yourself and say, girl, get up. Get up from that place. Yes, you dropped the ball. Yes, you reacted. Yes, you went to, oh my God, in my relationship, I hate when I drop the ball and react like a little girl world because now he got the victory. And I don't want nobody having a victory over me. I want to get victory over me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I'm in that place now where I'm watching myself. But how do I ever have time to sit and watch myself if I don't sit still sometimes?
Mhm.
Right? You will never be able to correct bad behavior, ladies. You will never be aware of your bad behavior if you don't take time and sit with yourself. You remember how you acted the other day. If you still climbing over a fence, checking phones and emails, you that little girl is ruling your life right now. I don't care. I'm at a place right now. I'm not checking emails. I'm not hopping over a fence to see who leaving the house or no. I mean, come on. I'm not going on somebody's page and I'm not putting a subliminal post so that she can know I'm talking about her. No, if you're doing that, that is little girl move all day. A grown woman, honey, keep her eyes on her own business. She ain't worrying about who's jealous with her, jealous of her, envious her of her. She's in her own lane. She's focused. And if you follow her with a magnifying glass, you may learn. You
And
may
that's
learn
because
something.
she show up like that because she don't have self-love. She show up there because she don't really know her self-worth. She show up like that because she haven't put value in herself. She show up like that because she have not been poured into. She show up like that because she hadn't dealt with her hurt nor her pain. She show up like that because she don't know what her triggers are. And so
Oh, come
again,
on.
this is what I love about be true to you. This is what I love about your 3D vision board. If you offer that, I would advise people to take it, because what I like about that, Dr. Gloria, and what I'm liking about this is that we're not pointing fingers at anyone. You cannot change, you cannot win by always pointing a finger at someone. Yes, sometimes it is somebody's fault, but the Bible tells you that everything happened for a reason. Not only that, I like what you said earlier. We can respond and not react.
Yep.
We
Yep.
can respond and not react. And there's a different routine between reacting and responding. Reacting is that you let the first emotion take lead.
Yep.
You let the first bad word take
Yep.
lead. You let the first thought that come to your head take lead. Instead of doing what you say, sit, right? And be patient. And once you sit, be patient, examine it, then you should respond.
Absolutely. No one should have control over your life in the sense of they do something to you that you don't like, and then you act the same way they act.
Mhm,
If they act like a fool and then you respond acting like the fool, who is the fool?
mhm,
We can't tell anymore. I always use this illustration. If somebody poop, if somebody eats something and you poop what they eat, that's the whole problem. How you are should not dictate how I become or how I respond to you. That was a big self check for me because I had to deal with the fact that I was around people who were just foolish, doing stupid and foolish things, and I had to deal with it. But I had to learn how to say, you know what? You can keep acting like a fool, but I'm not. I
So how
had
do you set those boundaries? How do you set a person that's working on self-love, a person that has self-love, how do you set healthy boundaries?
I want to be honest with you. It is not easy. Because you have to remember, we've been doing something for a long time. Some of it is learned behavior. So if you want to set a healthy boundary, you have to do what I said the first time when she asked me what was first love. It's love, self-love. You have to first give yourself patience. Be patient with yourself. Don't expect yourself to get this thing right the first time, but put a plan in place to start working the change you want. Listen, you can tell yourself this year I'm changing. I'm not going to be rude, disrespectful no more. I'm going to tame my tongue. I'm going to lose weight. You can tell yourself you're going to do all these things all you want. But until you put a plan in place and start practicing the change you want, the change is not going to happen. That's one. The second thing, at first I have a plan. Whenever I see myself react, I immediately put a plan in place so I can have a go to. Now, I'm not going to say I always go to my plan first, but that plan is there. And now that I know I have a plan, I'm even more disappointed in myself that I didn't go to my plan first.
Mhm.
You know, and so I go to my, but I'm used to this now. So now I've been doing it for a while with certain triggers. Know your triggers. So now
Yeah.
I know my triggers, I go to work my plan, right? Now, remember, I just said there's times where I just don't want to go to my plan and I react. The Bible says you can do all things through Christ that strengthen you. That's when I have to pull on God now because I don't want to do the plan thing. I don't want to do the plan because right now you don't hit on my last reserve nerve. I was reserving that nerve for something else and you done tapped on it. I ain't got nothing left now, right?
Mhm.
So now
You're all tapped out.
I'm all tapped out. So I have to talk to Jesus now. I'm like, Jesus, you want to help me. I need an intervention, make a way of my escape, do something, let your spirit just sit on me. I have to go there. Okay. I have to pull on him. Now, when that don't work, I just dust myself off and say, I fail. God forgive me, and I try again. But the key is I keep trying, and I keep trying, and I keep trying until I find myself, okay, girl, you did that last week. Okay, you did that yesterday, or you did that. And I find myself gaining strides in the thing that I want to change. I want to bring this to your attention. Remember at the workshop, there was an individual there, and she got up to do the role play. And during the role play, she really didn't know that that stuff was still there. And I didn't know the stuff was still there. You know, none of us knew, but she had been working. I know her personally, so she's been working. I've seen the change, I've been seeing the growth, but that thing showed up and she saw it. And we had a conversation afterwards, and she said, I've been working my process of change. And I said, and just keep doing it. Because Rome wasn't built overnight. And
Mhm.
that's why I say you got to have patience with yourself because you're not going to change overnight. And don't beat yourself up to do it. Don't try to be Beyonce. Don't try to be Megan Thee Stallion. Don't try to be whoever you look up to. Don't try to be them. You be the best version you can be today and focus on winning the day. Not the week, not the month, not the year. Being the best version you can be with working the plan you put in place to change.
That is good. Working a plan. I like that you said you have a plan in place. And with that being said, it's almost like you have accountability partners, right? And I believe we all need someone to be accountable, someone who to hold the mirror up when we don't want to hold the mirror up and see the truth in ourselves, someone who will be real with us. And so, with that being said, let me just say tomorrow we're going to have a guest and we're going to talk about friendship. We're going to talk about the accountability of a partner, so having someone in your life who's not afraid to tell you the truth, like, girl, you showing up raggedy, you can do that better, or you know what, I'm proud of you, because we need somebody to see the good in us and not just the bad. And
Absolutely.
even with that, even that'll show us where we're lacking with the self-love. Self-love, lack of self-love show up in low self-esteem. It show up in competition. It
My
show
God.
up in jealousy. And so when you know that you're battling with not liking somebody and you don't even know them, you just don't like the way they look, and you like, it's just something about them, I don't like them. That's the devil that's in you. Oh,
That's
the Lord, it's just something in my spirit. No, that's the devil in you, because if it's something in your spirit is probably telling you to pray for them, to love on them, encourage them, because what God does not do is cause us to be mean to somebody. He will give us warning and show us how to handle somebody, but to shun someone, when the Bible say show yourself friendly,
it.
to judge someone when you never had a conversation with them, when the Bible say judge and judge not, or be judged, when the
Judge.
Bible tell you to examine yourself before you look at someone and don't like them because of their look, the way they're dressed, or what they're wearing, that's in you.
Yep.
And that shows that you don't have self-love. And
Mm-mm.
so we're going to talk about those things these 7 days. We're going to talk about how lack of self-love show up. We're going to talk about why love is not permanent in our life, and there's absolutely no way you can love in a friendship, a friend girl relationship, a sister relationship, a mother's, being a good mother, just being a good person without having love within. And I wanted to ask the question, and my question is, has love lost? its power?
Wow.
Has love lost its power? If
Wow.
we look at how people are showing up, we're looking at how people treat one another. And my daughter was on my show Monday, and she said that evil is winning. And
Mm.
so, in order to say evil is winning, it's like love, goodness is lost its power. So, how do you and I show up in love, show up in that power that God gave us to love the neighbor as we love ourselves, to do unto others as we will have them do unto you, to be the peacemaker, to be the one who show ourselves friendly, to be the one who's kind and gentle, to be that person, the fruit of the spirit, to be the one that not destroy people reputation, and by the way we talk about them, sabotaging someone's reputation because we're crucifying them and we don't even know them. And the only reason why we do that is because the self-hate that's within us is spewing out on others.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all that. Dr. Gloria, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Do you have anything you want to leave with the people before you leave? Also, please share with them how they can keep in contact with you, how they can follow you.
Absolutely. I just want to add this little piece to the end of what your question was. Um, have love lost its power? I don't think love have lost its power. I think the power of love is lost. I think it's lost because you don't see it too often. The best example of what love represents or what it looked like is what Jesus did. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. And I believe that we are not preaching or teaching the message of what Jesus did, how he loved us in spite of, how today we get new grace because he loved us, how every day we get new mercy because he loved us, how every day he gives us things we don't deserve. He keeps us protected and he covers us. And I believe if we learn what he did and we begin to implement that, we will see more love abounding now in the earth, and we'll see how powerful love
Love is.
so that's all I wanted to say about that. For those who don't know me again, I am Dr. Glory, a good friend of mine. As Angela, she used to be my hairstylist back in the day. And I'm just super excited for you, Angela, and all that God is going to do um, in you and through you this year. Is going to be amazing. I'm going to have a front row seat, whether I'm there in Florida or here in Georgia, to watch, to pay attention, to share, like, tag, and comment as much as I can. And for those who want to follow me, just go ahead and just follow me on all of my social medias. They're all Glori Monroe. My website is glorimonroe.com. Instagram, Glori Monroe. Here on Facebook, Glori Monroe or Dr. Glory, depending on which page you want to get on. And I'm just going to be me authentically all year. And so I don't know what you're going to get because I'm still learning me every day. But I can promise you, if you follow me, you're going to see nothing but authenticity.
I love that. I love that you didn't say if you follow me, you're gonna follow someone who's perfect, who has it all together. Because today I have it all together, tomorrow I may not, and it's okay. But we have made people feel like it is not okay to
Yeah.
be okay. It's not okay to be perfect. I mean, to not be perfect. So
Perfect.
I
Hey.
I love that, and that's what I say. You see me with no hair, with hair, bald head, no makeup, some makeup. I don't care. Sometimes I show up in a mess, and sometimes I show up looking like okay, but the key is show up, and I show up in my truth. And so we're going to continue to show up in our truth. We're so grateful for you sharing the platform with me today. Just thank you for being a real uh, motivator, the epitome of what a sister in Christ looked like, someone who just don't talk about sisterhood, but you show it. You show it in showing the good as far as the bad. You show it in your weakness. You showed it overcoming struggles and situation or naysayers. You overcame those things that the enemy tried to use against you to destroy you. You overcame that, and you showed us how to stay graceful in
Yeah.
the midst of showing up. And so honors to you in your new endeavor.
Thank you.
I know it's going to flourish. I know you're feeding it properly. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited that I too get to see. I got a seat in the house
Yes, you
that I can see it, and I'm praying with you and for you. And I know that God is God, and if He don't make a mistake,
know.
and so just one day at a time, right? One
Yes.
day at a time, and God is going to do the rest. So thank you again for showing up. Thank you guys for being a part of the 7 days at 7 p.m. of love. We will be back tomorrow with talking about friendship. Um, the third, which is Friday, we're going to talk about the love of God. The fourth, we're going to not be in, I don't think, but it's going to be about relationship. The fifth is going to be my sister Mary, who's going to talk about the love of a mother. The sixth is my daughter Morgan, because every first Monday is mommy and me, and we're just going to continue with that and talk about love from a parent and a child. The seventh, we're gonna have a relationship, a couple on that's gonna talk about relationship. That's pretty much it. And then on the 13th, we're gonna have a couple that's been married, didn't know whether or not they wanted to stay married, but God put it together and did some newness in it. And they're gonna share their story as well. So with all that being said, thank you, Dr. Gloria. Please follow her, please like, please comment. And again, keep sharing this and share it. And if you have any tips or anything you want us to talk about, remember, you can drop it down in the comment. You can also email us, y'all. I got a little furry dog that won't leave us alone. This is my baby dog, but he everywhere. She won't leave me alone. She ain't mine, but she won't leave me alone. But anyway, please inbox us at Talkshow at yahoo.com. That's Talkshow at yahoo.com. We're looking for guests. We're not begging, but if you want to share your story, your story can help someone else, how you went through and you overcame it. If God did it for you, He will do it for them too. Remember, Be True to You is about being true to God, so you can be true to you and you can be true to others. We're not perfect. We own up to the good, bad, and ugly. Those things that we can't change, we accept it. Those things that we can't, we can. We put on our big girl panties and change it. With that being said, I'm your girl Angela, and thank you for watching 7 Days at 7 of Love. Bye.